Hey, Chris, just wanted to share with you our revised version. Hopefully what we walk you through today will be good to go. Happy to make small tweaks to the text, but otherwise we are proposing this as the version that we will implement. So basically same as what we showed you before, where there's the embed or basically a link to the trip page. They pick the date, they click book now, and it will take them to their trip page, and it will zoom in on, it'll put them on the pick a room, or in your case, it'll probably say deck plan or pick a cabin. You'll be able to change this text. You'll be able to change this text as well. You'll see that the deck plan will be the main thing. They can immediately see which ones are unavailable. And if they have one selected, it would be selected. In this case, they haven't selected anything yet, so they can see which ones are available. They can then choose to filter by the category. So in this case, we've shown an example of filtering by French balcony that zooms them in. This is low resolution. It'll be clear in the final version. And this will just take them into focus. So it won't disable the selection of the other room types, but it will let them just focus in on those numbers and make it easier for them to see. Then when they click on it, it'll turn red because it's selected. But it won't block them if they want to pick one of the other ones. So just because it's French balcony, they can still pick a suite. When they pick that, it's going to pop open a little pop-up, both on desktop and mobile, and it'll tell them, so ignore a little bit of the technical stuff here, but basically it's going to say the room category and the room number. It'll repeat it again. It'll say how many people are required to occupy this room, price per person, and how many are left if there is that setting. And then it'll be the description that you provide. So if you have an image, it'll show an image. If you don't have an image, it'll just be text. So that's completely customizable by you. And then it'll say selected, and again, repeat the category of room and the cabin number and give them the option to select, or they can click X and go back. So if they didn't like that one and they want to click this, so they can keep exploring and keep changing the filter to zoom around until they find the right room. Then once they're happy with it, they click select, and that will take them to the invoice, and it will prompt them to book now. Then they need to click book now, and they will be prompted to complete their registration process. So you control this text. You also control this text. We discussed, you can either let them pick two here at this point in time and put the name of the person in, their companion, at this point in time, or you can disable this feature. This will be hidden, and then they just put their name in and it just books a sort of placeholder for the second person. So we can discuss when we launch this whether or not you prefer to let them pick it here, or if you prefer to have the system add a sort of a +1 for them. But basically they're going to complete their contact information, email address, and any kind of questions, click book now, and that's going to bring them to here. Again, repeating the selection that they've got. So it's remembering that they've picked French balcony 416. They're going to scroll down, see the price. Now, apologies, this mockup's a little bit off. There will be a second person here because this is a double occupancy room. It will force a second row here. So it'll be 1,000 and 1,000. So the total will be 2,000. And then they get to pick their payment plan, their payment method, and then it'll tell them how much they owe at that point in time. Once they've picked both of those things, the button will activate and they'll be able to pay. Once they have paid, this button will become disabled. They will no longer be able to change their selection here, and they'll be prompted to contact you if they do want to change their room. And this will be their invoice and their receipt, and they can continue to pay as per the normal YouLi flow. And they'll be prompted to complete the next steps in terms of the tasks that are now due because they've booked. So that's the process, and that's on desktop. Let me just jump back into the mobile flow just to confirm that. So very similar, obviously, in terms of look, but just a little bit more cramped. So they will still be able to pick the category, and that will just kind of zoom them in, and instead of clicking, they'll be tapping, and then it'll pop up with their selection. They will be able to select now there. It's just cut off in the display, but they will have that option to select that room just by scrolling down a little bit. And then once they drop onto their invoice, keep in mind there will be a little prompt up at the top here It's not shown in the design, but if you feel like they need more guidance here, you can put text like, please, complete your checkout process kind of thing, because they haven't completed the process yet, right? So they do need to either click book now, so there's an extra button there at the top, but also if they scroll down, it's there. And then otherwise it continues to the normal flow on YouLi. So we haven't marked that out here because it's basically the same as it currently works. So hopefully that makes enough sense. Feel free to sort of go through and watch this a few times if I went too fast and you need to slow me down. And just a final point here is the way that you're going to control whether or not this feature is on. This will appear under trip edit settings. There's a place where you can turn on and off these menu labels. We're going to add a new one. It's actually going to say deck plans. And it'll be off for the rooms where for the trips where we haven't got an SVG, we haven't got a deck plan installed. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to tell us, I want this trip to have a deck plan installed. We're going to set that up for you. And then once that's set up, then you will see this option activated. And you can then configure what you want to call this deck plan, pick a cabin, whatever label you want for that. And you can turn it off. So if for some reason people don't like the new interface on a particular boat, or if there's an issue there, you can turn this off so they can continue to book by room category. So we will allow you to turn that off, but you can only turn it on when we've installed the deck plan for the trip. So it'll be just that easy once we've set it up. And we do have those plans for that first boat mocked up. So we are pretty close to being ready to show that. So this one, we've already built the deck plan for it. And yeah, so I think our next steps basically just to get sign off that you're happy with the revisions that we've made here, and make sure that we're ready to go and we can start actually setting up your actual live trip in preparation for this functionality to go live. So just one last little thing you might have noticed, we removed the legend from the bottom here and we just moved it up here. So that way, as they pick the different categories, the color is going to appear here. So just to allow them to focus in terms of the zoom. You've picked French balcony, that's the teal color. If they pick suite, it would be purple. So just a quick note on the change from last time. Otherwise, I think that's everything that we've changed, and we're really excited to hear your feedback so we can get started with implementation. Any other comments, Steph, that I might have missed?
Nope, I think you did a great job of going through the whole thing. But yeah, first let us know if there's anything you want us to change or if everything was any confusing. So we're happy to answer those questions.
Great, thanks. Hear from you soon. Bye.